Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, Traders Corners fans, thank you for tuning in. You know, as I said, Anthony and Maria is so great. They put these educational days together for us. It's really like a course almost. I believe that these days, these opportunities are our chances to help educate the trading community. So not so much of a moment for me to try to sell you anything because I got a bunch of you together. I can always sell you stuff later when you come find me. But this is to teach you some things that could help you move forward with the markets. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you after we're done with the presentation where you can find me in my free trading room and all that good stuff. But what I want to show you today is a group of charts that you can call a portfolio that you can basically purchase and ride this AI revolution straight up until it finally comes to an end. We are in an AI revolution, I promise you. And here's what I will show you. Look at the date of this video. I did a webinar on 2/28/2024, so February 28th. In that webinar, I gave out a host of alternative stocks that will go up with the AI revolution if you couldn't afford a high-flying $800 to $1,400 NVDA. So in 2/28, I said, listen, here's what I'm going to show you. Fantastic trades to get into. Hold these for the whole run. And then about a month later, we revisited that very same portfolio, and we removed two of those AI play stocks. So I'm going to go over those with you now and see if I can show you what you should be following and why and what's going on out there. So welcome to the AI revolution, kids. It does not matter what people tell you. I have been trading. I started on the trading floors when I was 18 years old in 1982. I have traded through, analyzed, and taken traders around the world through every debacle. The 1987 savings and loans debacle, the Gulf War, which was 1990, the 2001 dot-com crash bubble, whatever you want to call that, the 2008-9 crash, the 2012 flash crash wiggle, the 2020 COVID hit. We have lived and traded through every bit of those. And here's what I'll tell you. It does not matter what the fundamentals are. I promise you this. The chart is merely a visual look at all the fundamentals, government reports that have been released, ones that are going to be released, and traders' reaction to such. It's all built in these charts. If you are trying to take a fire hose of information being shot at you from every direction of news, and you're going to decipher that news and decide where a market's going to go, you're a crazy person if you think you can do that. It's not possible. You know what can do it? What you're looking at right there. This chart shows you everything that is ever going to happen and everything that did happen, and it shows you what comes next. Now, I have been a master at holding classes, and I do a YouTube video every night to tell traders what will happen the next day, and we use these charts. And here's what I can tell you. You are in an AI revolution. When I was a young kid in this business, the computer revolution came through. You know what the markets did? They rallied for 6 to 7 years. Nothing goes straight up, right? Nothing goes straight up. Sometimes you get down movement. They rallied for 6 to 7 years. Then the internet hit, 1994. We went straight up to 2001, 7 straight years. The AI revolution is 2 years old. It is a baby. It is going to carry this thing for the next 5 years. I don't care what I've heard before this presentation. That's what happens when a revolution comes into our marketplace. Before the computers was the typewriter revolution, and that lasted a long time. These pushes, like the internet, last for a long time because the technology hasn't even been thought of yet that we're going to be using in AI 3 years from now, and it will push for a while. So NVIDIA, this young industry will keep the market going up. Nothing goes straight up. NVIDIA was 1,400 before the split. So before the split in February, I said, let's go through a host of charts. I want you to write these down, and I want you to make a portfolio and get involved in these. Now, futures trading, stock trading, ETF trading, I don't care what you trade, crypto, it's all extremely risky. How do you mitigate your risk? Put your stop in first before you ever enter into the position. So if a flash crash like 2012 happens, your stop is in first. One way to mitigate the risk. Now let's go take a look at this portfolio.
OMNICAMP to me was a pathway. It's a door opened to a whole new capability that I've been struggling to acquire for years, and now I think I have the skill to accomplish those goals. So it was a milestone, I think, in my life.
I definitely got what I came here to get and more. I wasn't expecting much. I had very low expectations, and it blew me away.
My favorite thing was Oscar and his instruction and his passion for what he does. Not just trading, but teaching. I think he's just as passionate or more so about teaching as he is about trading.
This is a fantastic alternative to the high-flying NVDA or any. NVIDIA is still way more expensive than this. Omni started liking it here. It's called the Global XAI Technology ETF, AIQ.O. I love this little gem. Look at the way Wall Street just plays off of two things: moving averages and geometry when it comes to this global XAI. Now, what I mean by that is look at how well they cued off of this average every time they had an opportunity. They cued off this average, just cued off the 27-bar moving average. I call it an algorithm because a moving average is actually an algorithm, whether you know it or not, just a simple one. They cue off every time they get an opportunity. So right here is when we did the webinar. Right here on this day, I did the webinar and said, I want you to get involved in these stocks I'm going to show you right now. They're all fantastic for AI. Look at how much higher we are from when we did the webinar. Webinar was here. Look at how much higher we are now. Now, they are queuing or keying off this 27-bar moving average or algorithm, if you will. What else are they keying off of? The 120 bar. Just write these down and use them on this chart. It goes back forever. It just goes back to the beginning of the chart. They just seem to be using it in their algorithms on Wall Street. I'm going to show you what to use. So if you're looking for the bigger outside envelope, if you will, you go with the 120 bar simple moving average or algorithm. And when it's quicker moving, they're bouncing off the 27. Look at just how well it works. There's no need for me to prove this out to you, but now look at here, the 120. Look at this. They're loving the 120 on the outside. So what's happening with this simple AI play is now it's getting into an even steeper rally. And I've heard people talking about the top is in, the top is in, everything points to the top. And I tell you right now, I don't see everything pointing to the top yet. Not yet. Now you see how we're in a steeper pattern. We were in this green moving up slowly. Then it got into a steeper one here, this blue one, another channel we got into, nice and steep, right? There's the bottom of it, here's your top. And now it's starting to accelerate to an even steeper, this one here. All right, so let's lighten up the one that it's not really keying off of at the moment. The important one is going to be, of course, watching if we stay inside of here. Now, if you don't think that Wall Street watches the geometry like hawks, let me show you a little trick. I have a line, goes from this high to this high. I show this to people in my Omni camps all the time. They flip out. Now, I have grown up on Wall Street. I promise you, I know exactly what we're looking for on these charts. I was there when charts were point and figure. I used to write them with pencil on graph paper. I was there to help computerize the charts. I was there to help teach TradeStation, and you name it. If you name them, I worked with them in the 80s and 90s to help get these charts off paper and on the screens. I know what these guys look for and build. And here is what happens. They use geometry. Watch this. This simple trend line from here to here. I'm going to extend it. Look at here. How did they know? How do they know? How do they know? Look at this. Let me blow it up for you. Because Wall Street's watching. This stuff is simple. I am going to keep this entire webinar very simple for you. Look at how simple that was, right? Look at all the times that you could have used it. So if you know Wall Street is watching geometry and watching these averages, you don't need to be a genius to figure out what to do. Follow them. Follow the easy, smart money. Now, I have the Oscars Market Navigational Indicator, the OMNI, which tells me where to get in and buy and sell every single day. This is more abstract to tell you which direction we are going in throughout, hopefully, the rest of this year. This is moving higher. It's above support. This would have been resistance, which is now support. It's moving higher. It's bouncing off the averages. It's starting to take on even smaller averages. It's all about market geometry. Wall Street likes the 27 and 120 bar algo on this puppy. Write it down. Take a look at it. We started liking it here. We started telling fans about it here, and it's all the way up here. This is one. There's many more to come. Next one, BOTZ. Look at this bad boy. In fact, that was the chart that was on that video I showed you from 228. That happened to be the chart they used for a thumbnail. BOTZ, same type of algo being used, but this one's the 28 bar instead of the 27. Look at how well. I mean, Wall Street just loves this thing, and they make it simple for us. When it breaks, you know you can get short. When it gets above, Wall Street's going to get long. Of course, the Omni would time us and tell us exactly when to get in and out. More abstract, keeping it simple. Once again, we've got an outside average they love and an inside average that they play when it's moving up. The outside average right now is this big orange one. It's the one keeping us in check. The webinar was done here. We advised get long BOTZ as well. Make a portfolio out of this. So BOTZ is higher since we got in. Granted, moving sideways, but certainly higher. Holding its averages, I think it's going to do just fine. Looking at the chart, I don't think anything because I don't know anything about the company, nor do I care about it. The chart tells me we should be fine. And we have fail safes where we would get out if things changed. But BOTZ is another one, global XAI ETF, very inexpensive, right? It's in the 30s. Make this part of your portfolio. Next one. I showed back in February, BUZZ. Now look at how fantastic this one is. This is a very affordable alternative to high-flying AI, NVDA, or other stocks that cost more. This is in the 20s, right? But there was an algorithm shift. They were using this right here. If you can see, they were using this blue average for a long time. Right here, we have shifted. So watch this. I want to tell you to change. If you watched my last webinar, I want you to change the average that we're using now. And we're going to make this as small as can be, so it's still on the chart. But here is what they're keying off of now. They've gone to the 60. Check this out. I'll just make it nice and thick for you if I can. There we go. Check this out. They started to key right here. It's separated, and they started keying off this average. They sell it when it's above. They buy it when it's below. They're buying it right now. It's back above the average they were using for the last 9 to 10 months. The algorithm has shifted to a 60 bar, telling you they are bigger buyers of dips than they were when they were teeing off of like a 27 bar moving average. So they're starting to buy the thicker algos, which means they believe in these moves. We got involved in Buzz.K. Right here, we told you guys to start taking the trade, and we are much higher than that now. So this stays in the portfolio. And, you know, if you ask me, you're building a bull flag right here or some kind of channel at least, right? You got something going on right here. Let's just do a parallel of that and see where it drops in. Boom. You got something going on right there, which will most likely end up being considered a bull flag or some kind of a consolidation channel. Either of the two should get you to move higher here. So you've got that happening, right? And that's on another one of these insanely good alternatives to NVIDIA. And of course, now that NVIDIA did its split, you can always afford NVIDIA, but look at all this other great stuff that you should probably have in your portfolio. Let's go see what else we have. This is all AI play, and then we'll get to some crypto. Now, this one just doesn't stop going up. I mean, this just won't stop. Talk about market geometry. Look at how Wall Street just queued off of this. Check this out. Look at how it was in this channel at first. Wall Street used every single opportunity when it hit that channel to do something about it. Every single time. Every time you got near this channel, Wall Street reacted, and it coupled with the average. Boom, boom, boom. You fell out of it. What's the first thing that happens? They start another geometric rally back up. I promise you, Wall Street watches more geometry than you would ever dream of. Let's see how far back this goes. Look at how far back that average works. And they're using it, and this stuff is simple. If you can't do this, you need to hang up your technical analysis shoes. This is about as simple as it gets to follow these cats on Wall Street. We're not trying to get intricate. We're not talking about the float, the EBITDA, the insiders. We don't want to confuse anybody. Simple. Let the chart tell you what's coming next. And I promise we are very good analysts, and we'll tell you what's going to happen next. You just got to come hang out with us. The chart will tell you what's going to happen next. I am just the chart's messenger boy. Let's see what else we have out there. Oh, yeah, look at this guy. So, Loop. Loop was working on the same 27 or 28 bar algorithm. The last three charts I showed you, they were all working on the same algorithms because Wall Street, they all make their funds sort of the same. Why? Well, if I am trading with Goldman Sachs and you're trading with Morgan Stanley, and if you're making more money in a fund than I am, I'm going over there, right? So they all have to sort of build the same systems and keep sort of the same returns happening so that no one jumps ship and moves to the other. So that's why these things behave alike, because Wall Street funds behave alike. So look at the average and the trend line. This is more proof that they love geometry and averages. When they come together, Wall Street reacts. Every time those two come together, an average and a geometrically properly placed trend line, Wall Street is going to react. So you've got the AI play, which we started liking back here, and it is definitely higher since, and in a very nice channel moving up. The outside algorithm or average is the 125. The one to key off of when you're day trading is the 27. In fact, I would take that away. I don't like the way the 27 is working in here anymore. I think the 27 stopped being useful right there. So I don't know that I even like this average anymore. I don't use averages to trade. I use the OMNI to trade. I use averages just to show me what direction we should likely go in. But I don't know that I like this average anymore. I love the 125. It's much more solid and giving much better signals. What happens down here, we'll find out if it ever gets there. So another one is loop.k. Put that one away. What else did I show you guys in February? Okay, this one. In the second webinar, when we decided to remove two of our stocks in this portfolio, learns.k became one of them. I did a webinar on this day and basically said we were going with green arrow, green arrow, green arrow, holding the average, holding the geometry, no problem at all. Suddenly we break under the geometry and we start ending up with red arrows all over the place. And at this point, I said too many red arrows compared to green. Exit this from our portfolio. So we have removed learns in February. In April, we removed learns from the portfolio. So this is out. If you didn't watch that second webinar and you're still long all of these, it hasn't dropped. I mean, it's still more expensive than it was when we got in, but it's just not going as quickly as the others, right? So we got in up here, or at least we told you about it right here. It's trading here. It's higher, but this one we have removed because it's just not working as quickly and as strong, if you ask me, as the other plays that we've been looking at called AI plays. So keep that in mind. Learns gets removed. That was one of the two. The next one that we looked at in February was the WTAI.K Wisdom Tree AI Fund. Another one we removed from our portfolio right here on the same day when we did our, actually it was here that we removed it in April. When we did our second webinar to say remove some of these, when we fell under that trend line and we were below the average, which was unusual, we also exited WTAI.K from the portfolio. So if any of you actually built a portfolio based on what I showed you in the February 28th webinar, this one was removed 2 months later, and it shouldn't actually be in your portfolio anymore. Oddly enough, it's moving higher, but once again, not as nicely as the other ones I've shown you. So those two out of the whole gamut have been removed. Let's see what else we have. I hope this will help you. I hope you look at some of this. All right, so NVIDIA, as we know, beautiful chart. This should keep going forever, but that's not the one I wanted to show you. Here we go. UBOT. We have a possibility of one more removal from the portfolio, which is this one right here. We will remove UBOT as well as the other two that we've already removed if you fall under here. If this support does not hold by next week, you are removing UBOT.K out of our portfolio. It's still in for now. If you end up trading a few more days under, well, let me just make this trend line usable. If we end up doing a few more days under this big fat trend line right here, which I will draw for you now if it allows me to. Of course, it didn't allow me to. Anyway, if you end up making daily bars underneath here, this guy goes. Remove him. Everything else we've talked about stays. This one still stays if it gets a boost and heads back up next week. So keep that one in mind if you have built a portfolio based on our previous webinar. And what else is out there? There's a few more. This guy, THNQ or THNQ.K, it's THNQ. This guy, just fantastic chart, fantastic everything about it, and seems to just be in love with the same average since the day it found it. Just loves these averages, loves bouncing off of them. See that? Underneath, we start selling, get above, we start buying. Underneath, we sell as quick as we can. We get above, we start buying. Just got to it 2 days ago. The buying already started in a nice upward channel. We got involved at around here, and we are now up here. Well, we are now up here. So far, so good. That is absolutely a bull flag building right there. If you can't see it, even though these trend lines will not let me make them smaller, but you got something happening right here that we would probably consider a bull flag. You know what? Let me just get a parallel of this line instead, make life simpler. And that's some kind of flag building. And if we extend right, you can also throw something in here and call it a pole. And you got a flag right there. Take off the extension, right? No extension on there. Make it nice and thick, and you'll see that flag come to life. So now we have a flag building on top of the averages, on top of holding that spot right there. I say we just keep holding on to these ETFs. Some of them are funds, some of them are ETFs. It will say that on the chart if it's a fund or an ETF. And let's just make that a little bit smaller. And there you go. You should be able to now see that there is some kind of a flag building here. And you should end up moving higher. So we like THNQ as well. That's going to stay with us. Look at this guy. Another one that Wall Street just loves the geometry, loves the algorithm, the average that we're using right now. And it goes back for quite some time and works really well whenever you get near that average. And you can literally just take this trend line right here and just move it to here, right? And you've got the same sort of action taking place. Higher, higher, higher. This stuff just wants to keep on moving, right? You're in a nice big fat channel moving up. You can see they used the geometry on this channel all the way till they got to here, and then they just fell under it. Now we're testing the average again. Look at how pure and clean the average can be when you get to it. It's pure and it's clean, right? You see that? Pure and clean. Up here, same thing. So it's simple techniques that we know Wall Street uses every day to make their trading decisions. Geometry, certainly moving averages. Wall Street is watching. This is the AI revolution. It's acting much like the computer age, the internet age, you name it. We're acting the same way. I expect it to last for quite some time. What else is out there? There's a 12. All right, so we're out of those. Now, we're going to go back to NVIDIA for a moment because I just want to remind you, it's become affordable. This thing was $1,400, $1,000, $1,400. The average trader, sometimes the average fund could not even afford to get in. Well, now that it's down here at 117 to 128, everyone in the world can afford to get in. That's going back up, kids. It's just going to take off. Remember, people loved it at $1,000. They loved it at $1,400. They're going to love it at $126. So that's going to go. And what else is out there? We've got, so another thing I wanted to show you guys was this. You know, a lot of AI is mixed in lately with our Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto. And of course, the algorithms that they're using on Wall Street are simple and exact, just like the ones we use on everything else on Wall Street. Look at how well this one works. You ever see anything that easy? Easy, simple, and they use it just about every time. You're inside of a massive bull flag in Ethereum, right? And it just keeps hovering around inside that flag, keying off the average. Wall Street's watching, it's going up. Nothing goes straight up, but it will go up as well. And the other thing that will also move up because of AI and because crypto is what it is these days, because Bitcoin and Ethereum have been approved for Wall Street to use for fund management, they are going to also be part of the AI revolution because just about every fund you can think of is coming up with AI crypto trading programs so that they can put people's 401ks into Bitcoin and not have this insane volatility. So in other words, you cannot take somebody's life savings called the 401k and put it in a market that does this. No way. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to call some 80-year-old man and give him a heart attack and tell him that you lost half your money in one day because we put you in Bitcoin. So what Wall Street has been doing for the last few months is building out systems and testing those systems so that when they do finally start putting 401k money in Bitcoin, it will be completely hedged in a hedging program that when it goes up, they make money. When it goes down, nobody loses. They have to get that sorted first before they plow in. They're not just going to take your 401k and stake it. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. 401k is for you to retire on. It's got to be slow moving, quiet, and steady up. None of the crypto we've seen since the day they were born are slow moving, steady, and quiet. So they're building out hedging systems so that they know exactly how many options they'll need to be short or long when they're in crypto, when they're in Bitcoin versus Ethereum. When they're done testing out those systems, they are going to plow into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, you know that we have a target. We've had a target for the last 5 years, and it's a year and a half away now, 85,000. And, you know, people thought I was crazy at 12,000 when I made that call. It's hit 74,000 already. I'm not so crazy, am I? It will be that just about on my anniversary date, a year and a half from now. I've made tremendous calls in Bitcoin since it started. The beauty of Bitcoin and me, I am the best analyst you will ever find on this planet. I promise you, where I was trained on Wall Street, no one has had this sort of training. Bitcoin was born before my eyes. I've been able to chart every tick of Bitcoin since the day it was born. We've made lots of money and lots of great calls on that because I know everything about it. I do not need to know the fundamentals. I don't care. I know everything about that chart, and all the forward information is moved forward based on the geometry on that chart, as I've already proven to you in several other charts during this example. And if I recall, I believe that was about all I had to show you as far as this presentation. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what stocks you should have in a small AI portfolio and which ones we've removed to possibly a third out of that grouping. If you guys like what you've seen and would like to join me, I am so easy to find. I am literally sitting in a live trading room, basically 24 hours a day. I'm in one right now. I'm waving to you. I kept that live the whole time while I did this seminar. You guys can easily hang out with me and the other traders around the world in this trading room. And guess what? The cost is $0. Not even a credit card is required. If you just simply come to livewithoscar.com and register, no credit card, no nonsense. You just fill out a username, password, if you're going to ask for an email or at least a code, you are going to get an email. Here's one problem with the email. I promise you it will go to spam. That's where you will find your email. Go in your spam folder, unspam it, come to livewithoscar.com. You will click Oscar's chat room, and I promise you will be in here with me just like that. No credit cards, no nonsense. I don't do this to take people's money. I do this to help people. So if you want to hang out with me, I could show you much more intricate ways of getting in and out of these markets. That was an abstract, simple gift to you, if you will. I hope you guys, some of you guys, gals, put these trades in your portfolio. Of course, you can always call me if you think maybe you need to get out of something, but that should work for the next, couple of years. Those things should just go on for the next 3 to 4 years. And I host, but I have a 4-day training session held live in Las Vegas where I literally teach people the OMNI, which is Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator. I teach the OMNI right here in my home office in Las Vegas. I'm very selected who comes out. You can absolutely be a novice. We love novices, or a 50-year pro, but I'm very choosy about who comes out here. It's my home office where my wife and children live. And one thing I'll tell you, I don't know where you've bought programs from or where you've bought systems from or approaches, but when someone invites you to their home where their wife and children live to teach you for 4 days, they're not lying. That's not where they should be inviting you if it's garbage. You know what I'm saying? You don't invite people to your home if you got something to sell them that's not going to work. So if you come hang out with me in my 4-day Omni camp, just go to omnibootcamp.com, omnibootcamp.com. You can see a quick video about me. Who cares? What I want you to do is click inquire here and fill out a quick application so I can call you on the telephone and we can discuss whether or not you fit, whether or not I would qualify you for a seat at my 4-day training in Las Vegas. Barring that, everything I do is free. I do nightly YouTube videos just about every night. If I can find one quickly, I'll just show it to you. Every night there's a YouTube video that comes out from me, and in that video, basically it will tell you what's supposed to happen tomorrow. And then I'm live in that trading room acting out every single thing I told you in the video last night, taking Omniacs around the world through our trades. When I send out a trade signal, it's kind of interesting. Let me see if I can do a quick one for you. What I'll do with a trade signal is I will send you this. When I'm going to trade, I tell my Omniacs around the world what we're trading. They get this. It wakes you up, it rings, it tells you what to do. You can have it read out to you in words if you need it to. At the same time, I've sent you a Discord telling you exactly what to do. I've sent out a text, a flash update. I speak it in the trading room. You cannot miss a trading signal from me unless you stuck your head in the sand and pretended you didn't get it. You know what I mean? But we send out signals. Everybody gets them on time. So if you want to hang out with me, as I said, it'll cost you nothing. Come to livewithoscar.com. Those videos I put out, by the way, I'll just click on a random one. You never know what we're going to get. I put something like this out just about every night on YouTube.
Buy on blue.
That's not it.
Red.
That we got to live with. That's called a commercial.
Extremely accurate.
Well, good morning, good afternoon. Just about every day you will find a video from me that will come out and tell you exactly what I want you to do, where we're going to buy, where we're going to sell, and then I show you the chart and the reasoning why we are going to take those trades with every single trade. So I've got a plan. It's already planned the night before. I tell you guys about it in a live video. Then I sit in a live trading room and act that plan out 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, because markets are open on Sunday. So I invite you to hang out with me for absolutely free. Make sure you go to Live with Oscar and sign up. It's nothing. Give it a try, kids. I don't buy it, I promise. You will have a good time hanging out with us. The Omniacs have been to camp. We'll hang out in my trading room. I have a fantastic crew of traders in my trading room, and I think you will find it a great home, especially that it's free. You might as well give it a try. With that, I give my time back to you, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Oscar. What a great presentation, as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on Traders Corner. According to the charts, not the word on the street, and that was Mr. Oscar Carboni. You could find him daily in his chat room or his nightly YouTube videos, which I watch every time he puts a new one out. They're extremely fun to watch, and or his live streaming on his YouTube channel as well. You can also keep up with him on Twitter, StockWits, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, etc. Or you can go to his website, which is www.livewithoscar.com. Yeah, great presentation. Love the videos. I'm a huge fan myself as well. Spot on analysis. Please come back, Oscar. We appreciate it, man. You're great.
Me. If I can help anybody, please come join me at my website. Go to my free room. I'll help you in any way I can. Thank you all. And remember this. You know, I've got an adage I say at the end of every video, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I've got little kids that call me and tell me they sing this with. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Stops are in. Emotions are
out.
Traders, put those stops in first. It will take a lot of the emotional decisions out of your decision making.